switch to the presentation. Oh, good. My camera's not taking up the whole thing. Um, Little shout out for presentation software. I use Gamma.app. As you know, if you watch the earlier videos, I was in a car accident. Injury got so bad that I cannot be in front of a computer for very long or use a phone or tablet for very long. Otherwise, the next day I'm in horrible pain. The only way I can do this is I get 4 long needles every 2 months. Y'all might have seen that video last week. That was my neurologist giving me nerve blocks. I get those every 2 months too. 8 needles, sides and back of my head. But all those horrible procedures are the only way I'm sitting here right now, able to bring you these classes. So as much as they hurt, I'm super grateful for those procedures. Always love to start with gratitude for those people who are joining us in Zoom or following us on YouTube. Can you think of anything you're grateful for in the last 24 hours? My buddy Jeremy Kirkus, he has a business centered around teaching happiness classes at corporations. Jeremy, brilliant, brilliant business strategist. And he taught me, have your audience, when you talk about gratitude, list something that they're grateful for in the past 24 hours. And what I say, all gratitude is valid. Doesn't matter if it's a small thing. When I can't think of anything to be grateful for, when I'm hurting a lot in the day, when that depression's hitting me, usually I'll have something nice to eat. I try not to be too much. So I'm losing weight right now, doing treadmill every day. But a little piece of candy or something, I got something to be grateful for today, even if it's small. And so that's kind of me. So this is class 2 in the friend magnet framework. Week 1, we did the overview. You can feel free to go back and watch that. Week 2, last week, is all the acceptance commitment therapy tools that you can use to overcome social anxiety, overcome feelings of nervousness. Any difficult thing that you have to do, use those acceptance commitment therapy tools and overcome that. I'd like to hear in our audience too, besides what you're grateful for, if anybody actually did the homework last week and went out around a group of new people and just was okay being nervous. Maybe use those diffusion skills that I taught you. Maybe use that self as context concept to kind of take a step back from yourself, kind of like a video game. When you're in first person mode, in a first person shooter, everything's coming at you. You're overwhelmed, but and that's like, our thoughts and feelings are overwhelming us. When we get stuck in our heads, stuck in our thoughts and feelings, they're just totally overwhelming and overpowering. But we can imagine ourselves switching from first person mode to third person mode, where we're kind of looking at ourselves from a distance. We're experiencing our thoughts and feelings from a distance. And then we can use those diffusion methods to take a small step forward to the future that we want. The future I know that y'all listen to this, the future I know y'all deserve. Take a step toward that future instead of a way back from that future. Do the difficult thing. It's tough, but little steps at a time add up. But anyhow, welcome to the Friend Magnet Conversation Guide. You're going to discover practical techniques to overcome social anxiety and build meaningful connections. The presentation will walk you through proven strategies to develop emotional intelligence and social skills. It's going to help you break free from social isolation through self-improvement and motivation. It's regardless of your current comfort level. So we're designing it for all comfort levels. Again, it's just so grateful you're joining us. Super awesome to be here. Asked me 10 years ago, I might have not known I was going to be here right now. I was in so much pain every day. So every day is kind of a gift for me. Couple quotes I'll start you out with. The presentation maker left out something, but there's one quote. I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. That's Maya Angelou. Don't know too much about her, but I love that quote. And then here's a quote. Nobody cares what you know until they know that you care. Teddy Roosevelt. These two quotes kind of sum up the laws of communication, both in one. In that quote by Teddy Roosevelt, people aren't really sure if he actually said that, but I like that quote to kind of demonstrate something that what matters most, and I'll go into this in a bit, what matters most is how you make people feel. It's not it's not being right. It's not giving advice. It's all how you make people feel. If you can make people feel good, you make a million friends. If you do things that make people feel bad, I mean, you'll end up isolated, like I was for just years and years, and beating my head against the wall. And as a person on the being autistic, condition that used to be called Asperger's, really high IQ, but I'd say a lot of things that put my foot in my mouth or that made sense to me to say. You know, I was just trying so dang hard, and it's not that people like us are not trying hard, because we try harder than the neurotypical people. Um, Oh, we just had our buddy Vicky join us in Zoom chat, and I'll brag about Vicky in a minute. Vicky runs one of our East Michigan groups, and she's doing such. But anyhow, I get people say my best energy is when I talk about my friends and all the people I know, because I just start smiling, and I love saying awesome things about people. But unless I care about people, it's not genuine. So I try to be genuine, but. Yeah, so back to those two quotes. I said people like us, we just try so hard to make friends. We try harder in life than about anybody else. And what I learned, I can relate it to computer programming. What I learned, I was trying the dang wrong things. It's like trying to lose weight, but eating a diet full of nothing but like 5,000 calories of sugar all day, and you're wondering why you're not losing weight. Or it was like I give a programming metaphor. It's like I was a full stack C# guy before the car accident injury took away my career. And it would be like if I'm trying to program C#, but it's a Python compiler. The more I the more I input code into that, the more I input C# code in that Python compiler, the more it's not going to work, and the more I'm pulling my head out. Why isn't the C# code working in the Python compiler? And that's kind of an analogy for how I communicated for most of my life until I learned the rules. And the thing was, I couldn't learn it before because no one explained it to me like I learned computer programming, like I learned to be a software engineer. I never really called myself a software engineer, software developer. I didn't go through formal engineering school, but a lot of people call me software engineer. So I solved a lot of difficult problems in a step-by-step engineering manner. And that's who I love to teach now. I love to teach nerds. I love to teach geeks, people on the spectrum like us. I'm going to talk about that in a bit, but yeah, it's all about making people feel good. And if you can make people feel good, you'll have a million friends. But it's more than that, because sometimes that can be a little bit manipulative. And I'm going to teach you how to look out for those kind of people too. Watch out for those kind of people to know if you're being manipulated. That'll probably be in a couple weeks. But yeah, like I said, tricks only work for so much. Let me go on before I start talking my head off here. Okay, first, we've got to give a little update with the International Friend Connection. Find out more, internationalfriendconnection.com. Might be able to read this easier if you're watching on the TV, but cool. We got more people coming in Zoom here. Great number of people watching tonight. So grateful. We got more than last week. Yeah, come back. Yeah, Leslie, thanks so much for watching. Come back every week. I'm going to repeat these classes. I'm going to teach the classes, then I'm going to repeat them. And like I said before, they're living, breathing classes. So we modify them, we add stuff, we take away stuff that's not working. And then I want y'all to go out in the real world, test all this stuff in the real world, because my whole philosophy, I'm very pragmatic. If it doesn't work in the real world, we're not going to teach it. If it's just all theory, it's not based on like how it should be. All my life, I was like, oh, things should be like this, they should be like that. But the real world doesn't care how it should be. Real world only cares what works in the real world. But anyhow, so here's what's happening in International Friend Connection this week. This week it's just in Michigan. Our Portugal group is taking a break this week. In the next month, there'll be another group in Lisbon, Portugal. Oh, we got a local member here. That's awesome. We'll see you on the 10th. So grateful for that. So, okay, coming on Monday, this is next week's schedule. Real quick, quick announcement for this week. Annalise is stepping up to do an event all on her own. I'm so proud of her. She was so shy and quiet, and she is hosting Schulers and Wednesdays, and she's going to have a lot of great people there to support her. Wednesdays now, we're doing events for shy people. So this Wednesday, what's the date this Wednesday? That'll be the 9th. I only host every other week, so Annalise is going to pick up the other weeks, and she's going to be a great host for y'all. Everybody loves Annalise. So, okay, So every Monday, YouTube live stream with Q&A. Join via our Zoom audience in our private community if you'd like. We got a few people here tonight. Every Tuesday, so in West Michigan, our amazing organizer, Michelle. I gave Michelle a big award last year because she just volunteers so much time for us. That'll be West Michigan Geeks is playing board games at House Rules Lounge, downtown Grand Rapids. Owner Brian, real great guy. We've been meeting at his location for, since way before COVID hit. It's interesting. In my mind, there's like before COVID and there's after COVID, and the time during COVID was all a blur, a little bit odd. But I think think everybody feels like that too. Okay, we got a busy Wednesday next week for y'all online. So I think 8:30 p.m. is Eastern time is when I do them. So you can come meet new people all around the globe. We usually get about 100 RSVPs. We've gotten up to 100 people in these global chats. So you can grab that internationalfriendconnection.com, join the meetup group, get the information for those. Having more people coming on Zoom. Thanks so much for oh, interesting. Our Zoom followers cannot. Oh no, I'm having trouble with the audio in Zoom. Let me see. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not sure how to fix the audio in Zoom. I'm going to paste that YouTube link so y'all on Zoom can go ahead and pull up the YouTube video until we get to the Q&A. So yeah, if you're in our Zoom audience, feel free to pull up that YouTube video until we get to the Q&A, and then I'll come back to Zoom. We'll make sure everything gets working there. But okay, so every Wednesday night, about 8:30 Eastern, you can come to International Friend Connection, meet new people from all around the world. Then Schuler Books, Annalise, and I will be hosting next week. This is a week of 413. We'll be hosting Schuler Books for Shy People at in Grand Rapids there in West Michigan. East Michigan, our amazing organizer, Becky, I gave her an award too for all the great hours she volunteered for our organization, helping shy people in East Michigan. They're going to be at Matari Coffee. Matari Coffee has great humanity. I have it at night and interferes with me sleeping. But it's just so good that I'll have it when I'm over there. Now, Thursday, our great organizer Vicky, who's joining us in Zoom, really awesome. She stepped up in the past year to run the East Michigan Shyness Social Anxiety Group. They meet every Thursday at Sweetwater's, and Vicky does some great walks too on the weekend. So keep a watch out for those. And then Friday, y'all can come hang out with me at Cafe Boba in Grand Rapids. And that's what we've got going on for next week. This week, Friday, we'll be at Cafe Boba too. Let me move on now. And we can get into the meat of our presentation, so I'm not boring y'all. So main thing, if you're here, if you're taking the time out, joining us via Zoom, if you're joining us via YouTube, I believe in you because here's what I tell you. Most people, they just sit around, they complain about their lives, they complain about other people, and they don't take any action to make their lives better, or they don't reach out to ask someone who might know what they're doing. Hey, here's how I am in life. What do I need to do to make my life better? Because I don't have the life I want. But because y'all are here tonight, I know that you can get that amazing life that's after you do all this work. It's going to be a heck of a lot of hard work to do. Everything I'm teaching, and it doesn't come fast. Some people may pick it up quicker than others, but if you stick with it, and you do the homework, you practice what I teach you, and you don't have to, don't bite off more than you can chew. Just practice a little bit at a time. Pick one thing from each lecture and practice that during the week. You do that, you're gonna level up. It's like in a video game. Every time you use one of these techniques, every time you have a conversation, you're gaining experience points like in a video game. And pretty soon those skills are going to be leveled up. It's like filling out a skill tree in I play Star Trek Online in the treadmill. We'll do a class on exercise someday. I'll have one of my friends that are in the exercise biz and I'll show you how I get myself to exercise as a nerd. I got a treadmill desk. But yeah, it's like when you're playing an RPG online or an MMO. You gain experience points, level your character up, fill out a skill tree, pick your skills. Well, the main thing about interpersonal communication was I used to think that you're born with it, but what I found out, it's like filling out a skill tree in Star Trek Online or another. You can pick that skill and you can learn it. If you learn engineering, you learn IT, systems and patterns. So you can learn this stuff and practice it like you learn engineering or IT or any of this other stuff. Um, so yeah, I believe in you if you're here, and if you practice, you're going to be successful. And like I said, the mere fact that you're here instead of doing something else means that you have an advantage over 99%, 99.9% of people in the world. Like I said, most people just accept that their lives are going to lead the way they do. Um, Dang it. I think I'm so sorry. Like the Streamlabs is moderating a lot of stuff in chat that are legitimate comments. I'm going to have to change those settings. I can't change right now. But anyhow, because you're here means you're ahead of 99.9% of the people. And you're going to be successful. So here's the thing. I was where you were 15 years ago. Like I would always put my foot in my mouth, say the wrong things. I couldn't connect with people. I was alone playing video games, like sometimes 16 hours a day because I was so lonely. And, that depression, that loneliness just hurt so bad. Um, and if I can get through it, you can too. I mean, I've helped people that haven't leave the house in 12 years. Our friend Ben in Singapore, a real great dude. He hadn't left the house in 12 years because of anxiety. I met with him a couple times, and then he went to church that weekend. And then a month later, he spent Christmas at church, walking his dog in crowded dog parks, meeting all kind of people, making his own food, buying it at the market, went on a trip to Malaysia with his family. I mean, I thought a buddy that referred him to me was pulling my leg, but then no, Ben a few months later sends me a video, and he had got baptized, and whether you're religious or not, it was what was phenomenal about it was he was reading a speech in front of people after only talking to me and working with me a little bit a few months earlier. And I always remember Ben. I got to catch up with him to see how he's doing. But anyhow, I believe in you. Everyone's important to the future of humanity. And just because you don't know your purpose right now, you may feel lost in life. I was totally lost in life too. When that car injury from that car accident took away my software development career, that was the thing that I was going to spend my life doing. I never thought I'd be a people person. I never thought I'd get into leadership like I am. And you just never know what life has in store for you. And once one thing gets taken away, you can always pivot to do something else. And, International Friend Connection, building a global organization. We've got up to 50 virtual chapters. We've got in-person Portugal, in-person both sides of Michigan, in-person New York City a little bit. And and that's what we want to do. So here's my goal. I want to give you all these skills that Harvard says is going to help you level up it's going to help you level up your career so you can make at least another 10% per year this time next year. And yeah, Harvard did that study. I think I talked about that last week or 2 weeks ago. It did a study of engineers that said the engineers that had the social skills and the soft skills, they made much money than the engineers who only had technical skills. I mean, that blew my mind when I read that. So yeah, we're building a global organization. My goals, temporary goals, 50 leaders and 50 chapters around the world. I want to get 100 leaders, 100 chapters around the world. We get 10,000 members per group. That's 100,000 people that's 1 million people that we've helped the next 10 years. That's the goal. So join International Friend Connection. And once you start leveling up your salary, consider supporting us so that we help you, you help us. It's a whole reciprocal exchange. Now, like I said, anyone can learn social skills. Everyone has what it takes to be naturally liked and respected and trusted. Doesn't matter how much social anxiety you have or how much long you've suffered from social isolation like I did. You don't have to be born with it. I thought you had to be born with it, but you don't have to be born with it. Oh, I got distracted there. Sorry, the ADHD kicks in. But yeah, you don't have to be born with it. You can learn them just like I said. Learn if you can play a complex video game, an MMO, you can learn social skills because it's repeating stuff. It's grinding. A lot of it is just grinding, and it's being okay with making mistakes. I'm gonna teach you how to do that too. You can do math, you work in IT or engineering. This is something you can learn. So I'm going to tell you how to do it step-by-step process. I'm going to teach you how to understand it. I'm going to be here for you every step of the way. And then if you guys want to work with me, we may have an option to do that too in the future. join that private community if you can, community.thefriendman.com. That's going to go have a small fee, maybe like $7 just to join. And then you get to get access to replays and cheat sheets. We got a lot of cool cheat sheets that you can put in your phone, but that's not really available right now. Join for free now if you want. Here's what we're going to cover tonight. So I've been rambling out a bit, so let's get to it. It's going to be essential social skills, creating positive first impressions, effective greetings, mastering body language. I'm going to teach you how to build rapport with people. It's something that gets hammered over and over by people who take sales training, and I want to take that training, bring it to you, because not that many people take a sales class. I've been taught by some of the greatest salesmen. My friend Bob Berg, I always talk about him, mentored by 2 years, author of Go Giver series, 1.2 million bucks sold. Just flew down, saw him in north of West Palm Beach there a little bit. Great man, taught me so much, a couple of years, taught me how to communicate and be a better leader. And then I'm gonna teach you active listening techniques. And the purpose of those, you got to make people feel valued. That's one way you make a friend. I'm going to teach you conversation pitfalls that push people away from you. This is all about, you know what? It's all about like managing other people's brains, because we don't want to do things that cause them pain. We want to do things that cause them the positive emotions. And that's how we connect with people. And also how to navigate group conversations. I got to be honest with you. That's kind of newer to me because, being in the spectrum, I don't pick up a lot of the cues of when it's okay to speak. So a lot of times I'll tell you what I do. I just kind of like jump in and I might overtalk somebody, and then I feel kind of bad. Then I got to say, hey, this is hard for me because I'm on the spectrum. I don't really get it when it's okay to speak and when not to speak. So, just take it easy on me if I interrupt. But something I came up with too from a lot of things that have been taught to me by these great communicators. The instant connection formula. This is something I created, step-by-step guide to connect with someone in minutes. Some salesmen do it. They can connect with people like in a minute or less, but it's just practice, practice, practice. And then this is a step-by-step guide. Just real check-in. I want to take a break because I've been talking a lot. What are you guys most excited to learn about tonight? I'll anything pop out at you that you really been confused about or most excited to learn tonight? We got a lot of great people. And while I'm waiting for you guys to let me check Zoom chat too, if anybody's telling us something in Zoom chat. See if anybody's put anything in there. Looks like some people are interested just to know how to have a conversation with people. I mean, if you could have taught me this stuff 15 years ago, it would have blew my mind, because I spoke like I was, I communicated like an engineer. And, engineering and the business unit and engineering unit, we can say the same dang thing, but we'll use different language, and then we think we're talking about different things. Oh, great. Some more things that people are grateful for. Learned a new business model. Really cool. Let me check that Streamlabs if I can. Let me see. Oh, there's that CloudBot thing. I'm gonna see if I log in real quick on Streamlabs. It's not letting me log in right now to manage that CloudBot, but yeah, it's working. So if you make comments, keep them short, and then maybe make one and then make another one if you got a longer comment. That may be how we'll get around that tonight. Oh yeah, how to keep a conversation going. Yeah, how to maintain and engaging. I'm going to teach you that too. I got stuff for that too. I got you all covered. Tonight. So let's move on here. So a biggest thing when first meeting people, you got to know it's not all about you. There's a simple formula. I keep it by my desk. I think it's going to be backwards. I think you can read it on the slide, but it's caring plus communication equals connection. If all those things go together when you're talking with someone, people can understand that, you really care what they got to say, that you care about them, and you know how to speak, have a conversation. You're going to connect with someone. And so tonight I'm going to teach you a lot of conversational techniques, connecting with people, a lot of pitfalls. So one caveat on this is some of these things are kind of conversational techniques, conversational tricks. And like I said, tricks only work for so often. If you're someone that was like me, like I just hated people because I was severely bullied. People say my ideas were weird because I being on the spectrum, we see things other people can't, make connections other people can't. Um, so I was a very angry person. I had to let go two things. I had to let go of my anger at other people. Had to let go of the anger I had, and I had to forgive myself because I was very angry at myself for the longest time because the injury from that car accident got too bad, took away my whole career, and I'm like, Dave Good, you're just a freaking loser because you can't be a computer programmer anymore. But now I was able to pivot and do something different. I'm more excited. I'm happier and more excited doing what I do now. Even though International Friend Connections never made me a dime and I paid a lot of money out to keep it going, I have a like most days of the week, I feel joy, and I did not feel that when I was a software developer. And so next week, yeah, join us so that I'm going to teach you how to do that inner work so that people want you in their lives forever. So here's a quick emotional connection principle. Um, Focus on creating positive feelings in others. And connection all depends upon it's a reciprocal exchange of positive emotions. Essentially, what it does, it's like what I do. It's part of me now because I learned how to appreciate everybody I meet. Unless they're not that great of a person, and then I just kind of leave them. I don't need them in my life. But it's like I love people so much. I make them feel good. They're happy. They make me feel good. They reflect those positive feelings back about me. That makes me feel better. So we're all just having a great time during the night, just feeling better than we have all week. Um, and yeah, the basis of all relationships is creating an emotional connection with people. This is why this is why logical thinkers like myself, like engineers, IT people, software developers, why a lot of this don't make sense because it's all a feelings problem. And like, especially for a lot of men in America like me, feelings aren't something we want to deal with. I had to do all that work just to be able to identify what I was feeling. I was on medications for depression. Now I got better treatments. Just got a new round of TMS approved, and that's the best treatment ever, where I'm not numbed out. A lot of meds numbed out all my feelings. And you got to work with your doctor what's best for you. I can't tell you what treatments to use for your anxiety or depression. None of what I do is, I don't give any medical advice. I'm not going to tell you how to treat any sort of mental illness. So you got to work with your doctors, your therapist. This is an adjunct on top of therapy or working with your doctor because therapists don't teach communication skills. They aren't going to teach you how to have a conversation with someone. Yeah, I've been to therapy for 15 years. None of my therapists ever kind of brought this up. Yeah. So main principle, like those quotes in the beginning, how you make people feel is more important than being right or even what you do for them. If we make people feel good, they in turn make us feel good. It's reciprocal exchange of positive emotions. And that is the key to forming a connection. It took me over a decade just to freaking figure that out. Took me so long. And little bit of mindset here. I've talked about detachment, and I learned about detachment a little bit from Bob Berg and his books. I used to know a Hindu priest at a philosophy study group. He talked to me about detachment also. And so the main goal when you all go out to meet up groups or groups on Facebook, especially like West MI Social Club. I don't know if any of the gang from there's here tonight. But if you're going out to small group events, making friends, so it's not important to make like a ton of friends yet. It's just the practice is what's important. We're gaining experience points to level ourselves up. So every time you practice is a win. It's that formula I taught you the other week, which was the zero fail formula. Even a mistake is a win because we learn from it and we roll the lesson forward. Um, Desperation is the biggest enemy of friendship. People can sense when you're trying too hard, when you're like desperate just to have a friend. I mean, I've had even people be desperate to be my friend. I feel so bad, but that kind of drives me away from someone rather than drives me to someone. But there are other things going on there besides someone that was just so lonely and desperate to to be friends. People wanted to get real close to me real quick, and that's a red flag for me. But you want to go in when you go to an event, and this mindset shift will help you a lot. That it doesn't matter if I make a lot of friends tonight. I'm just going to integrate into the group, and I'm going to Oh, yeah, I'm going to go get to that later, but you're going to integrate into some local communities and local groups. And this is going to take a long time, over a long time. And then year from now, you're not going to you're not going to believe the life that you're going to be able to have. And again, focus on making those emotional connections, what we're all going to cover. Um, just greeting people, magic feel good questions, some active listening, body language, how to read other people and your own body language, some conversational pitfalls, and then group dynamics. Yeah, considerations for neurodivergent people. I'm on the autism spectrum. Well, I guess now we just say we're autistic. The language keeps shifting, but yeah. So there may be some autistic individuals with higher support needs, and like one example, I think Stephen Hawking was on the autism spectrum. He's one of those brilliant people in history, but he communicated with like a computer tablet and a computer voice interface. So not all people have all these abilities, but you're always capable of more than you think. I remember my buddy Mike Smolligan, who owns a real estate company in Grand Rapids. I didn't have a lot of confidence. He would text me and he's like, you're a lot better than you think. You're capable of a lot more than you think, and a lot of your limitations are what you think in your own mind. And always grateful for my friends that always encourage me. Um, Oh, I should have a little meme from Lost here. There's a guy, I think it was John Locke, who was in Lost. He always said, "Don't tell me what I can't do." That's kind of something I kind of integrated myself. Yeah, test out your capabilities, discover what works for you. And it's just, you got to practice, not practice once, practice 100 times, practice 1,000 times before you can make a judgment on whether you're getting better and what works. And we're going to revisit this class in about 6 weeks based upon the feedback we get. So one caveat for oh, Megan, you'll be able to this will be archived on YouTube so that you'll be able to go back and write all that down. You'll be able to screenshot that. So one caveat, there was a research study, Sasson and colleagues, 2017, found that when an autistic person meets a neurotypical person, they're less likely to interact with an autistic person, because what happens within milliseconds, they can identify that person. It happens in their brain. They perceive that person as weird. So I've debated this with my friend. Got a great friend, Anshar Seraphim, one of the smartest dudes I know. Like, his IQ is off the charts. Um, love talking to him. Very interesting dude. But I debated whether it's best for people on the spectrum to establish rapport first with someone and then disclose, or disclose and then establish rapport. But it depends on your level of support need. Like, most brilliant guy I know, but he has very sensitive brain. He can't do eye contact. So for him, he introduces himself and then he just closes his head. He communicates a little bit differently. So he says, "Hey, I may go on and may not be able to make eye contact, but if I go on and you're uncomfortable, just raise a finger so that I know to kind of take a pause." And brilliant guy, brilliant guy. Man, I love all my friends, man. I get talking about my friends. We'll be here all night, but yeah, a little bit into body language. Oh, let me hide my camera a minute so you can see this photo. Okay, so you see this photo. This woman kind of has the positive body language that people like to see when you're meeting for them. You want to smile genuinely, open body language, know what closed body language is. So first, smiling. The trick I use to smile is to naturally, I think about, so when I go to meet new people, I'm freaking nervous. I may even have the shakes. I'll have closed body language, but to smile, I pretend like I'm going to meet one of my best friends, and that smile will come to my face. And well, I'm going to go over these other 2 points, and then maybe the people on Zoom are brave. We can have people practice smiling a little bit. I'll give you some tips for that too. So you see the woman here. She's got that big smile on her face, and you know how you're not smiling big enough is if your smile's not uncomfortable, you're not smiling big enough. That's kind of what I say there. But you see, so open body language is kind of your arms are uncrossed. You kind of face the person. Maybe your palms are a little bit to the side or a little bit forward. You're standing up straight and tall. Your shoulders are back, and you're looking kind of straightforward. And that's kind of just open body language, real simple stuff. A lot of the stuff isn't that complex. It's just intimidating learning it. So something can be simple, but it can still be intimidating. So that open body language, it kind of says that you're relaxed, that you're feeling good, but it can be real hard. Usually I start off with closed body language. It's kind of can be a sign of nervousness or that you don't want to be a place. And what it is, I'm going to show you that now. Let me turn my camera back on for y'all. I'm going to demonstrate that. So here we go. Let me back up a little bit and maybe I can I got to make my webcam bigger, but if I got my arms kind of like this and my shoulders are kind of hunched forward, I'm kind of looking down, that's closed body language. That's kind of a sign of nervousness. And it's funny when you're nervous, it's a reflection. It's like their brains are like psychic. They can read that. So you're nervous. That makes other people nervous. And so how do we overcome that? We try to have that open body language. Sit back straight, stand up straight, sit back, look up, kind of look people in the eye. Generally, when having a conversation, you want to have eye contact about 50% of the time. Yeah. And when you're not looking at their eyes, look at their shoulder is kind of good. But that smile, I'm going to show you how I do it. So when I get around new people, I get kind of excited now, and I never thought I'd be that way. I never thought I'd be that way. So now I have to hold back a smile. So what I'll do, I'll kind of have like a half smile. I call it a naughty smile, like I'm about to do a little prank or something. I don't do pranks on people. I don't do pranks on people. That's what it reminds me of. But yeah, you kind of see it as kind of a little bit little, and then I'll go into a big smile like that. And the thing is, so that's kind of genuine smile. And when you have a genuine smile, there'll be wrinkles in your eyes, and that will come the more you practice. The more you relax, the more you practice, that'll come. Now, the psychopath smile is like the fake smile, where somebody has a big smile, but there's no change in their eyes. Their eyes seem kind of dead. That's the psychopathic smile, but we want that genuine smile. But it's practice, practice, practice. Let me pull up the Zoom here a minute. Yeah, people want to come on. Oops, let me turn the thing, come on camera, practice that smile. Oh, yeah, I do have the option for y'all to start video. But yeah, feel free to practice that smile. And like I said, if it's not uncomfortable, it's not you're not smiling big enough. You're not smiling big enough. But it will. The more you practice this stuff, the more comfortable you be with people. The more you build that happy life, it's gonna come out of you. It's gonna come out. A caveat though: some people on the spectrum, they cannot smile naturally. Like my buddy, he can't smile. They can't smile naturally. So they have to, it's very hard for him to have conversations with people. He discloses that too. And so that he gets a lot further along people by disclosing in the beginning. But and I'll tell you I'm going to tell you a story about my smile. So a long time ago, I was in sixth grade. I was severely bullied through middle school, late elementary, bit in high school. Yeah, school years was just kind of heck. There's one dumb kid turned out to be a loser later in life, and I say that because he bullied me pretty bad. He was like, "Oh, you look really dumb with a smile." And so for decades, I did not smile. I would never smile. And then finally, past couple of years, I did a lot of internal work in therapy and stuff because I wasn't smiling because I was autistic. I was smiling because somebody stole that from me. So that smile was stolen. I was bound determined to get that smile back. But then I would look at pictures of me smiling. I'm like, oh, that's dumb. But I had to remind myself, that's not my voice. Those aren't my thoughts. That was some dumb kid who turned out to be a loser later in life. And that was why I didn't smile. So I did a lot of work in therapy, and now I look at myself in pictures. Well, I forced myself, put pictures online of myself with a smile. And then pretty soon, like people that didn't know much about me comment like, oh, wow, you have such an awesome smile. And they had no skin in the game. They didn't need to make that comment that my smile looked great. So I'm like, they must be right. And so now and finally I made the shift to where I see myself in camera. I see myself in a picture. I'm like, I look good with a smile. And that was a shift I made over years. Oh yeah, reading other people's body language when you're talking to them. We'll get to that in the instant connection formula. But so when you're talking with someone, if they're responding positively to your conversation, you'll notice they want to keep it going longer. They'll maybe ask you questions and things like that. But when you're talking with someone, if they start smiling, if they their eyes get a little bit bigger, they start pointing their body towards you or kind of leaning in towards your direction, transition from that closed off body language to the more open, positive body language, and they're looking at you more in the eyes. Um, it's nonverbal communication, and it's you might call it social cues that it's indicating that that you're on the right track. They're wanting to talk to you, and that a connection's forming. So you may be that's a good sign that you're making a friend. But if you're talking with people, they keep that closed body posture. They're turned away from their bodies, kind of hunched or turned away from you. Can indicate discomfort or nervousness, but sometimes for people on the autism spectrum, they just may generally have that body posture. It's debated. There's debate by academics how much of that is learned for people in the autism spectrum and how much of it is due to brain difference. A lot of it is learned from a trauma from growing up, just getting so bullied and everything. So we had a lot of these things that we do that prevent us from connecting with people. It's not our behavior, it's things that were bullied into us. And so I feel by learning this stuff, I'm reclaiming my birthright that was stolen from me. So if you got to test your abilities, if you're on the spectrum, whether if you practice this 1,000 times, it starts coming more natural to you. Practice it 100 times, then you'll know. Then you know whether it's something that you can learn, whether it's your capability. But for me, I feel like I'm reclaiming my birthright as a person, as a communicator. I'm reclaiming a birthright that was stolen from me. Oh yeah. So another thing, if you're talking with someone and they start looking around, kind of checking their watch, looking at their phone, means that they're probably not interested in talking to you. We'll teach you how to exit a conversation. One thing I do when I'm nervous, I'll kind of touch my neck or something like that, kind of do this, and that's a sign that I'm nervousness or uncomfortable. Now, if you're talking with someone, the smile goes away, they start squinting their eyes, they may be thinking hard about a question you're asking them. And that's not necessarily a negative symbol or a negative, oh no, my mind just that ADHD keeps coming in, keeps cutting in there, but that's not necessarily a negative symbol or a negative symptom or a negative signal. The word was right in the screen, but yeah, like also some of this distraction stuff is maybe they got a lot in their mind. They're just not in the mood to have a conversation. That's a good way to cut it short too. But making a genuine first impression, we can put some of this stuff together. So genuine smile. If it doesn't hurt, it's not big enough. Or I wouldn't say it doesn't hurt. If it's not uncomfortable, like that, then it might not be big enough. The open body language, stand tall, uncrossed arms, warm greeting. So this is a little tip I'm going to give you. This is what I learned from Bob Berg when we were all meeting with him one day, and he talked about greeting other people at business networking events. He always said, "Great to see you," or "Good to see you." Or nice to see you, or something that it was never great to meet you, because what if you met 100 people that day? You come back next week, you're around the same people, but you can't always remember all the names and faces and everybody you met. I know I couldn't remember that. So it's always great to see you, because if you say great to meet you and you met someone previous week, they're going to say, "Oh, this guy forgot me." So this is just a little trick. This is a little first impression trick. And, the first impressions happen quickly and can be lasting. So, yeah, like I said, smile. Think of something that you're excited about, or a person that you love talking to or seeing. That smile will come to your face. So now these are some magic questions. So what I'm teaching is the instant connection formula step by step. Um, so there's a concept Bob taught me, and that's the feel good questions. He kind of summed up some active listening topics, and we're going to go into or active listening techniques, and we're going to go into that in a minute. So, magic feel good questions are questions designed to create positive feelings in the other person's brain. We're triggering positive feelings in that brain, and they're always open-ended questions that aren't answered by yes or no. And here's kind of it's kind of think of it as a little flow chart or a step-by-step process. When I meet someone, generally I like talking to people. When I meet someone new, I always want to know if they've been up to anything fun lately. Um, that kind of gauges me a little bit of their happiness level. And then if they talk about things that they've been up to fun recently, we're triggering recent memories. We're helping them to remember pleasant things. They're going to start feeling good. So we ask follow-up questions about that. So if I say, "Oh, what have you been up to fun for lately?" and they said, let's say, oh, I just got back from a trip to New York. Well, that's an easy one to do for me. I love going to New York. So then that opens up all kind of questions. And if I say that, you notice me start smiling, ask follow-up questions. Oh, how did you drive or fly? Um, what are a couple of memorable things that you did in New York City? Oh, here's one tip. I try to never ask people any questions using the word favorite, because I feel like asking someone using the word favorite causes brain lock in people. That means they make a choice. So if people mention they went on a trip, I may see, oh, what were a couple of things that you really enjoyed in that trip? I won't say what was your favorite thing about that trip, because then their brains will lock up. They got to make a choice, might interfere with the flow of conversation. But now if I'm speaking with someone and they can't think of anything that they did for fun lately, a friend of mine told me this. I should ask them, oh, have you found anything interesting lately, or you've been doing anything interesting lately? Because some people may be studying real hard and that's not too fun, but it might be interesting. Um, and then if both of those questions come up with duds, I kind of ask people how they've been spending their time. But a lot of these can be filtering questions, because part of it, when I want to get close to people, I want to know that they're enjoying their lives a bit, because I enjoy my life. I like to know if they're finding something interesting in life that tells me I like that too, because I find a lot of things interesting. And then so it can tell you, they're designed to create positive feelings, can tell you a lot about someone, the way they answer the questions. Um, Helps you to ask follow-up questions to keep the conversation going. But always, you got to put the questions in your own words. Don't use scripts are good, but you always want to put scripts in your own words so it's authentic. Bob and the Go Giver always had the rule of authenticity. A rule is like not to be fake, and just be who you are. Just be who you are. And we go like an acceptance commitment therapy. We go towards our value, that value of human connection, and away from that those feelings of nervousness and that old life that we had. But we're moving toward a new life. So I'm gonna tell you a little bit of a skill called active listening, and really what active listening. I use shorthand for active listening is pay attention. So pay attention to the person you're talking to. The key to making connection with someone: listen 80% of the time, speak 20% of the time. And generally, when you speak, when you're first meeting, this is all first meeting people. This is not like long term. You've had a friend for a year. This is like first meeting people, first few times you're meeting someone. You want to listen. Actually, Bob, in one of his books, him and his co-author John David Mann said, "Listen with the back of your neck." That was kind of a cool metaphor. Uh, so yeah, limit your talking to 20% of the interaction. So sometimes instead of asking a follow-up question, you can just give a follow-up comment. So and I'll go into this a little bit in the future, but yeah, it's just totally focusing on the other person. You kind of pay attention to that body language, their tones. If they have that excited tone, you kind of nod and smile occasionally. I'll go like, yeah, or uh-huh, something like that. And then you create space for the person. In active listening, it's not saying that we don't matter. It's saying that it's saying to the other person that in this moment that you matter, we care about you, and caring is what creates the connection. Caring is what creates the connection with people. So yeah, another technique. This is pretty advanced, hard to do, mirroring body language. But if you match their posture, um, and you can kind of, if you match their posture, their body language, that's a way to connect with someone. But oh yeah, here's something. So if somebody's talking about something really negative, generally I'm going to give you some of the pitfalls, conversational pitfalls. But if someone's talking about something pretty negative, you don't need to smile, and not smiling when they're talking about something like traumatic or negative is a good thing. That will help you connect with them because they'll know that you're changing your facial expression and that's more genuine. um, Paraphrasing with people. This is great for people with ADHD, especially me. So when somebody's talking about something, I get somebody talking about something, I will kind of say back a couple words, and that shows them that I'm listening to them. That's another signal that they matter. This is all telling people that they matter to you, and that's the most important thing. So let me give a little example. If you I love going to New York City. I love seeing my New York friends. So many great places in New York City. Don't want to live there, but you asked me about my trip to New York City, one of the last ones. I give you a lot of funny stories, but so if you get me going. I don't go on and on anymore unless somebody gives me permission to tell a story. But if I'm telling you a New York story, and I got some wild ones, and then you may want to interrupt and say like, oh, let me think of a so I may talk to you about, oh, there's a special chocolate shop there called Marie Bell, best cup of hot chocolate in the world, or a very special one, and then ask me a follow-up question. Oh, what makes it so special? And I'd say, after my mom passed, I went to New York City. It was a hard trip because I never wanted to go to a big city, and I was so anxious and so felt so alone. But this cup of hot chocolate was something little that I could enjoy at a time when I did not feel like I could enjoy anything. And then as a paraphrase, you may nod and say, "Oh, okay, I understand that you're going through a rough time, and that was something that made it better. That was something that made it better." So that would be an example of paraphrasing, and then that keeps you. That kind of that helps that ADHD brain remember what the other person was talking about because you're reflecting that back at them. You're reflecting their words back at them. Um, Using someone's name in conversation, that can be pretty powerful. I never liked saying people's names. It was just this weird thing I had. I didn't like using people's names. So I'd always call my buddies man or dude. I'd be like, hey man, hey dude. But using people's names is good. I do that more. So use it a couple times during conversation. Like if talked about Marie Bell chocolate shop, you say, "Oh, so David, I heard that that chocolate shop sounds pretty special to you." That's a nonchalant, kind of easy way to use someone's name, and that if you have ADHD, that's going to help you remember that name better. And sometimes even doing that, I can't remember people's names from one week to the next. And follow-up questions, I talked about that earlier. It's a related question or a related comment, and we've been talking about follow-up questions a lot. Um, but yeah, sometime like if I was talking about Marie Bell, saying, there's a good, and I meet someone in Grand Rapids, they might say, there's a good cup of hot chocolate in Grand Rapids. And then that would invite me to ask you a question, say, oh, where do you go for that? And then I would give the advice to give a short answer and then turn the conversation back on me if you're talking with me, because when you're first meeting with someone, make it all about the other person. It's not about what you know. It's about caring about the other person, connecting, and it's a balanced conversation. When someone asks you a question, keep that answer relatively short and focused. Keep space for a balanced exchange rather than one person dominating the conversation. I'll get more into that in pitfalls. But yeah, so let's say you want to talk with someone for a long time, you're getting along with someone really great. There's a little acronym that salespeople know that I learned it from Bob Berg. I'd heard about it from some other people. This acronym FORD, what it stands for is family, occupation, recreation, and dream, or it's form, dream, or mission. Um, so here's some example questions, and we've got a cheat sheet in the community that you'll be able to get access to with a ton of examples for you. So like family, example can be, what's something fun you and your family did together when you were a kid? A great topic of conversation that I like talking about, and other people people love talking about stuff that they did that was special when they were a kid, what they enjoyed. You come to my Wednesday meetings, I love asking people to share what they did for fun as a kid around the world. Really interesting conversation. You're at a business networking event, you want to ask someone, this is a great question. Like, how did you get started in your line of work? What you enjoy most about your line of work? things like that. Recreation. What do you like to do for fun in the weekends? It's always a great question. And dreams. Oh, there's an amazing woman I met a couple years ago, and first time we hung out, we were just friends, but first time we hung out, she blew my mind because she asked me this question, like, if time and money were an issue, what would you do in your life? And like, no woman had ever asked me that question before, so that just blew my mind. Um, really, really amazing woman there. But yeah, it's a framework that with questions you can ask. Yeah, social cues. I talked about a little bit of that earlier. Watch that body language. Um, if they're getting distracted, it might be time to wrap up for the conversation. Otherwise, if they're kind of leaning toward you, kind of asking more, want to talk to you more, then yeah, keep it going. This is kind of a graceful exit for when conversation isn't working out. And I'm going to tell you something that was true for me, and this is going to be true for you. So just be prepared. You're going to be a train wreck doing all this stuff in the beginning. So just pick a couple small things to practice, like every week you go out, and it'll add up over time. But you're going to be a train wreck, and I'm going to tell you a story how that don't matter long term. It don't matter long term because as bad as you are starting out, people forget about it pretty quick. The better you get at talking with people. So yeah, if you're talking with someone and they're kind of pretty distracted, looking around, looking at their phone or watch, say, hey, promise myself I'd talk to a bunch of people tonight because I'm new here. Really great talking to you. I'll catch you in the future. And put it in your own words. Sometimes, when talking to a lot of people, if I want to get to know a lot of people, keep it brief. I kind of think of it like a good dessert. Like when you go to a restaurant, or like I've been on a lot of cruises with my mom before she passed. They'd give you a little bit of dessert, and it was just enough to leave you wanting more. It's like, oh man, I got to come back, get more of that dessert, and kind of read the room. If you're having a great time with someone, they keep wanting to talk to you, and you feel like you're really connecting with this person. You're feeling great. You can tell they're feeling great. They're having that potty positive language. I mean, you can keep that conversation going. That was a question somebody asked in a previous class. Um, okay, now I'm putting this all together for you. This is the instant connection formula. I taught this as a standalone class before, but now I'm integrating it into these YouTube classes. So here it is, the instant connection formula all together now. We're going to walk up to someone or sitting out at the table, that open body language, smile. Um, that big smile. Think of something that makes you excited. Warm greeting. Great to see you. Open body language. Good to see you. Nice to see you. Or something similar. You can even ask ChatGPT what similar greetings would be. Ask a feel good question like great to see you tonight. What have you been up to for fun lately? Then do active listening. Pay attention with the back of your neck, like Bob Berg and John David Mann said. And ask them follow-up questions. Show interest by, like we went up about asking follow-up questions earlier. Then you look for the positive body language signals. Look that they're enjoying talking to you. The eyes will get bigger, that smile will get bigger, and then it's just repeating that loop. So if you're an engineer, you're a software developer, this will make sense to you step by step. Smile, give a greeting, ask a feel-good question, do some active listening, ask follow-up questions, monitor for positive body language, repeat the loop. And then if they start seeing a lot of negative body language, might be time to cut it short. Might be time to cut it short. And, again, I keep harping on this. It's the power of positive feelings. If you make people feel good, people are going to want to keep you around a long time. That's one reason, at least as I hope that's one reason people like having me around. They keep coming back to my group, so must not be doing too bad if they keep coming back for almost 11 years now. So I threw a ton of stuff at you. Let's just take a break. I'm going to check the Zoom chat. You guys have any big aha moments so far? Did this answer any of your questions? You find something that blew your mind? Like if I was taught this stuff 50 years ago, the whole dang thing had blown my mind. And it's okay to be a bit overwhelmed. It's okay to be a bit overwhelmed. I'm going to take about 10, 20 seconds to take a little break here. I'm going to check the Zoom chat. Um, and we're checking this out. Anybody in YouTube have any questions? Oh, like I said, keep the questions short there a little bit. So one thing, our stream is delayed by a little bit, so you may not hear this. That's why I'm gonna get a little timer for 30 seconds. Let me mute my microphone a second. I'll tell Alexa, set a timer for 30 seconds. I'm gonna take 30-second break, rest my voice, and then we'll pick up on the rest of the talk where we're going to pitfalls. But yeah, put in chat if something's blowing your mind. If you had any big aha moments, if this is good tonight, any amount of feedback's better. And then we'll go into the Q&A. I think we got about another 10 minutes. We'll go into the Q&A. Going a bit long tonight. I rambled a bit in the beginning. Alexa, stop. Oh, you got an awesome amount of people watching on YouTube. Really grateful for that. Hey, thanks for the comment, Michelle. I just saw that. You'll hear me speak probably about 30 seconds after you put that in chat. We got a little delay here. I'll tell you, my dream for these would be if I could do a call-in show. That would be awesome. I would love to do a call-in show, but that just takes all kind of like special equipment and everything. And it takes more manpower than just me running everything. But I'm hoping, if this channel takes off, we'd love to be able to have a little studio with people, have a call-in show. Kind of maybe like, oh no, this may date myself, like Dr. Fraser Crane or so. I wouldn't give psychological advice, but I may help people. I may help people be able to communicate a little bit better and not give up. Yeah, you want to come back next week. Hey, we got some more great feedback in chat. Oh, we got some Canadian friends. I love my Canadian friends. I got to get to Montreal because I got friends in Montreal. But hey, that's enough of a break. I'm going to go back to the I'm going to go back to the presentation now. And again, yeah, don't mind some of the pictures may not make sense, and sometimes I feel bad because some of these pictures are AI pictures. But having some disabilities, my time at the computer is limited. So this presentation software, I can make a presentation and I can get an outline that I've typed up. Presentation will be made in a couple minutes, and then I just edit it a bit, and I can do in 30 minutes what used to take me like 4 or 5 hours. And so that's real easy on my neck. Means I don't need to take as many painkillers. So okay. Oh yeah, this is where we're gonna. So we got 2 more things to get through. I really appreciate y'all sticking with me. This is some advanced stuff, and I am kind of horrible at this joining group chats, so it is very challenging. Even when I'm running my own meetings, I'm always worried that I'm over talking people because I just can't. My brain can't pick up the cues when to speak and when not to speak. So here's some. You want to. So when you're coming up to a group chat, it's kind of like the woman in the picture's doing. You kind of so my events usually will all gather around a big long table, or Friday night, it was an awesome night. We had 18 people come to Cafe Boba. A lot of the Wednesday gang showed up too. So yeah, you want to sit down at the table if it's a big long table, or if you're mingling around in groups. That makes me more nervous when I can't sit down with a group of people when I'm just standing with people. But yeah, stand or sit nearby. You want to have that open body language, and people will be talking, so don't interrupt right away. And just kind of sit down, listen to people. We want to ease ourselves in smoothly. We don't want to be like a jackhammer where we're just sitting down and people are already talking, and then we just start saying all kind of stuff. And in meanwhile, everybody's getting ticked off at us. You want to ease in. This is all gradual. This is all gradual easing in. I know a lot of us on the spectrum, we like all or nothing. Our brains like all or nothing. Our brains like black and white. And black and white thinking, but we're learning a little bit of gray. We're learning a little bit of gray. Oh yeah, once in chat, I think we got another 10 minutes and then we'll go into the Q&A. 10, 20 minutes, we'll go into the Q&A. But yeah, listen to what the group's talking about. Gives you some context. And if they're talking about something happy, sad, things like that, watch for a little bit of opening signals, some natural breaks, like when people pause or if people have been talking and then they glance at, if they pause and glance at you, that's your signal to say something related or ask a question that may ask an open-ended question about what they're talking about. Like if you're not understanding what they're talking about, great way to say, hey, can you help me understand a little bit more about this, or any other open-ended question, and that's going to create a connection with that group, and keep it short, and then kind of repeat that whole thing. Yeah, like I said, group conversations can be very, very difficult for people like us. Now, it's perfectly acceptable if you're really uncomfortable to make an exit. Generally, like wait for a pause, say, "Hey, it was great meeting y'all. I'm going to go see what's going on over here." That's kind of what I did. Or maybe I'll say, I get great meeting y'all. I got to go to the bathroom, or I'm going to go get a drink or something like that. Not every group's going to be the right fit for you. That's true. Not everybody's going to be your friend, and that was something hard I had to learn. And now I'm kind of okay with not everybody liking me, not everybody be my friend, but that's tough. I was a people pleaser. Had to learn to overcome that. Oh yeah, here's your pitfalls. So here's your pitfalls. Some of this stuff can be kind of natural. But yeah. So here's the pitfalls. What not to talk to people when first, especially when first meeting people or in the first few weeks of joining a group. Like I said, you can't just show up to a group, expect to make all the kind of friends your first meeting. It's going to take going consistently for a few months. Yeah, so we probably got another yeah, we probably got I'm gonna wrap up here pretty quick. But yeah, politics, don't mention anything about politics. I tend to not, even if other people are talking about politics, correcting other people. Yeah, don't be the yeah actually guy that corrects everybody. That guy's not fun at parties at all. People don't want to have that guy in their life. Religion, kind of don't talk about religion. Don't talk about money in the first. Complaining, no gossip, don't say anything negative about anyone else. Heavy topics. All these are heavy topics. This is when you're first getting to know people. And then, yeah, just we talked about some of this stuff earlier, but yeah, just keep it light. Don't correct people. Don't share your opinions. Yeah, some common conversational mistakes. These were kind of natural to me, being autistic. You know, needing to be right and correcting people. I mean, that's one of the things that will make people not want to be around you. Um, in one of in the Go Giver Influencer, read all of Bob Berg's books, but Go Giver Influencer teaches you how to influence other people. One of the secrets was letting go of having to be right. Entertain the thought that you may not be 100% correct. Correcting others, having always to be right, having always to get the last word. That's a good way to make people not want to be around you. Debating people, if you're just at a social group where people just want to have a relaxed time, it's been a hard week, don't start fights or debates or argue with people. Also, info dumping. This is something that's natural to me. And depending upon your support needs, if you're on the spectrum, this may be something that you can learn to control or not to do. And it's okay if you have a tendency to do this, just disclose. Say that, I may, like my buddy does, I may tend to go on and on when talking. And if you can give me a signal that I've maybe talked too much, really appreciate it. And that can kind of endear yourself to people. That can make people like you. Um, but on the other hand, if I'm meeting someone, or if I go to a get together for people for autistic people, I will let them info dump, and then I'll ask them questions about what they're info dumping about. And that is how I make an emotional connection with an autistic person, because it shows that I'm going to let them be them, and that I care about them by letting them tell me what makes them happy to share with me. So that rule is different when talking with autistic people. Yeah. So, this is something I learned in group of business people. So when someone's sharing a story, especially if it's a tragedy or a real painful experience, do not share a similar story. This is one of the ways people in the autism spectrum tend to connect with each other. But when we do this in a business setting, when we do this with neurotypical people, we're causing that person pain. Their brain's interpreting this as one-upsmanship or invalidating that they're pain. So us sharing a similar story, we're communicating. We may not mean this at all. We don't mean this at all. We're communicating with them that they don't matter in this moment, that what we have to say is more important than their pain, and we're causing them more pain. So we don't want to. So instead, empathize with people. If people's talking about a relative died, don't talk about your relative died. Say, one way I empathize with that is, and with a lot of pain, if people talk, I'm saying, people just can't understand what you're going through until they go through it themselves. And that helps me make a connection with someone. And then privately, I'll come to them privately, like, and say, I had something similar happen to me. Let me know if you'd like to hear about it. And then I'm asking for consent. I'm asking for permission. Also, yeah, too, asking for consent, permission before info dumping too. That can be a great way to connect with people. And then, so here's the one thing. This is a controversial opinion. So if I disclose I'm on the autism spectrum, a lot of people will say, "Oh, well, everyone's a little bit autistic," and I've learned not to get offended by that. I turn that around and I say, well, I'm really grateful you're trying to empathize with me right now. I appreciate it. And then what I will do in private, I will go to them and I'll say, hey, if you're around other people on the spectrum in the future, do not say that, because vast majority of people on the spectrum will be super offended if you say that. And then a lot of times they're grateful that I shared that with them in private. So publicly, I agreed with them and praised them. Privately, criticize. That's a leadership technique. Um, yeah, so the opinion role, this is why your opinions don't matter to people. See, what I've found, the more you share advice, the more you share opinions, the less it matters with people. You have to earn the right for your opinions to matter. And this is what people have to do to you, whether you realize it or not. Quickest ways to alienate people is to share your opinions and advice, and a lot of them. And the more you share your opinion, the less people take it seriously. But so I tend to not, I'm very strategic when sharing my opinions and advice. And like I said, I'm not perfect with all of this stuff. Actually, this talk could be a whole book. I may make it into a whole book, but I'm very strategic with sharing opinions and advice, because thank you so much in chat, that you said you didn't know about that saying, everyone's a little bit autistic is offensive. Yeah, that can be very offensive. Just follow the rules I gave you and you'll make a connection with those people. But yeah, academics, us engineers, we've learned a lot. We spent our whole life studying, so we pride ourselves on being right, on sharing our opinions. But connecting with people on short term is more important than being right. Well, you have to choose what's right for you. Do you want to be the guy that everybody shares that you share a ton of opinions and advice and nobody takes it seriously? Or if you never give your opinion or advice and then somebody's going to make a mistake, and then you gently take them aside and say, hey, here's what I think. And then when I do that, they're like, oh, David never shares his opinions or advice. I'm going to give this some thought. They may not take it, but they'll take it seriously, because I rarely share my opinions or advice, and that's very something hard for me to control. I've had to learn that over many years. And if people ask you directly for your opinions, go ahead, feel welcome to share it. That's okay. Yeah, long-term strategy, I always say, you need to attend a group regularly for 3 months to fit into that group. You got to read the group, know what it's about, and you'll connect with people. You got to be a regular. Most people come once and they go away. practice. It's just practice, practice, practice. You're leveling yourself up, gaining experience doing this. Embrace. You got to embrace the imperfection. Perfection's not important. It's progress. I'm gonna tell you a little story. You got to be patient. Forgive yourself for making those mistakes. Develop authenticity. The more you go, the more you'll be able to relax and be more like yourself. And it's gradual changes. If you like, you're going to be a train wreck at first, but again, the advice, like, okay, let's say you're the quiet guy at work, and then you go to work tomorrow, and you're the most talkative guy. People are going to be suspicious. So you just want to be a little bit talkative and a little more talkative as time, gain your confidence slowly. I'll tell you a little story about Michael Jordan. Now, Michael Jordan, one of the greatest basketball players ever. Some people say the best one ever. And he missed thousands of shots. He lost his team many games, and he failed repeatedly. But once he got really good, people don't care that he was horrible in the beginning. It's the same with social skills. Once you get good, once you learn how to connect with people, it people don't care that you were horrible a long time ago, unless unless they're kind of a little mentally disturbed. They don't care. Um, and you get to choose who you want in your life. And it's not about feeling fearless. Like I said, this is a lot of information to throw at you. Practice a little bit at a time. And, I don't even need to use all this stuff anymore. Even using 10, 25% of these techniques, it significantly improves your ability to connect with people. So yeah, here's your homework. Um, this week, I want you to pick a social event and meet up or Facebook, a smaller event. Go ask people some magic questions, practice some of this stuff. Use one of the acceptance commitment therapy tools we learned last week, dropping anchor, diffusion, self as context. Report in our private community. Um, some of your wins. If you go out this week, just going out and being at an event and not saying anything, that's a huge win, and you should celebrate that. So I want to check in. We're going to end here and go to the Q&A. I know we went a bit long tonight. This has been a good hour lecture. This can be probably a whole book on itself. Um, and yeah, again, you don't even need to use half of this stuff to be able to connect with people. Just using a little bit of it and learning a little bit at a time. I mean, it's taken me 15 years to get where I am. You're not going to do it overnight. So give yourself some grace and don't give up. When you feel like giving up, come in the community, work with me, work with a group of supportive people, and we're all going to encourage you. We're not going to let you give up. And it's like in battle, when your buddy falls down, you carry your buddy until he can fight again. That's what we'll do for you. So just going to give you a check-in. I'm going to take a minute break before we go to Q&A. Put in chat and Zoom chat or in YouTube chat, what are some of your big aha moments for tonight? There'll be about a minute of dead air here, and then I'm going to rest my voice a minute. So what are some of the biggest takeaways? What are some of his takeaways for tonight? I'll leave you with a couple thoughts while you're thinking of those questions for the Q&A, or you're typing in your biggest mind-blowing moments tonight. So it's courage over comfort. It's not feeling fearless. It's just acting in service of what matters most, which is common saying in acceptance commitment therapy, is that we go toward our values. We go toward that rich and meaningful life. We go toward the life that I know you deserve. I know you've been hurting for so long. I know life hasn't been great. And I know life's been pretty rough. My life was pretty rough, but you deserve that good life. You deserve to have the people in it that you deserve to be with, and you deserve to have those supportive friends that love you and support you and respect you. And it's about progress over perfection. Don't worry about being perfect. Practice a little bit at a time, and small steps. Get 1% better over time. After 100 days, you're 100% better. After a year, that's like 300% better. And then next week, we're going to go into the mindset stuff, because a lot of this stuff is tricks, and tricks only work so often. I remember in the 2000s, there were all the pickup artists, and they taught all these kind of disgusting tricks. And tricks don't really work long term. Long term, you have to make the interchanges that make you that person that people want around, person that can reach that future that I know you deserve. And we're going to teach you all that stuff I've gone through over the past 15 years to change myself. Um, So cool. That's it. Let me go back to the live stream. Again, I'm going to take a 1 minute break and then we'll go to the Q&A. So please put those big aha moments in chat while I'm taking a break here. Alexa, set a timer for 1 minute. Just doing a check to see if the people in Zoom can hear me now. Awesome. I think it was something dumb I did. I'm so nervous right now. I think I might have kept my audio muted in Zoom, but at least the YouTube feed could hear me. Alexa, stop. Yeah, we can go into our Q&A now. So please keep the questions here in chat. I'm going to talk to our Zoom users right now. So to our people in Zoom, what questions can I answer for you first? Has this been too much to absorb in one night and you're kind of catatonic now? And for our YouTube friends, feel free to put those questions in chat there. We're going a bit overtime tonight. That lecture was a bit longer than I thought. Yeah, tonight's lecture was pretty definitive about every conversational technique there is. Some people like the Ford technique. So yeah, some people. One criticism about getting 1% better every day, 100 days, you're 100% better. Yeah, that's kind of more. Take that more as a metaphor than an exact thing. So take that more as a metaphor rather than something exact. It's just kind of a metaphor saying, the more you practice, the more you're going to get better, and it happens a little bit at a time. It was like when I created my first meetup group. I didn't know what the heck I was doing, and I've been feeling really lonely all my life. But a year later, I sat back and I'm like, that feeling of loneliness that followed me around all my life, that is gone now, and that just blew my mind. And this is all the stuff that I wish I could have learned 15 years ago. Life would have been a lot different. But we have a question here. Let me get a little bit clarity on the question. Okay, so got a question in Zoom. Is speaking more clearly and using better word choice and delivery help when talking to people in everyday conversations? Oh yeah. So one thing I forgot to mention, when you get good at this, you'll notice that you will need to use different language depending upon who you're speaking with. In marketing and sales, it's called know your audience, know your marketplace, and yeah. So you'll kind of pay attention to what other people are talking about, and then what topics not to bring up. Kind of use a way to make connection with someone is use similar language that they do, but that's pretty advanced stuff to be able to adjust your community. So long term, the strategy is adjust your communication to the person that you're speaking with. That's why active listening is so important. That when you meet someone, you're gauging, you're learning about the way they communicate, and then connecting with someone who's communicating in a similar way. Um, so yeah, in the future, a year from now, when you're really good at this and you practice so much, or a couple years from now, you'll be able to adjust your communication, kind of talk about the things they talk about, and to me, I don't see that as being inauthentic. I can still talk about different subjects with different people and still be myself. Um, at first, I thought I'm going to be inauthentic, adjusting my communication, but then later I found that was not that later I found that I can be authentic because my value of connecting with people is more important than just letting myself talk on and on about what I like. So I love learning about people. Um, and don't focus on being perfect. If you're too perfect, if you're too slick, that can give red flags to people. And no one really expects people to be perfect. And I'm going to give another minute, see if we have any other questions. So to our audience in Zoom, do you have any other questions? Yeah, that's correct. Big audience on YouTube tonight. Real grateful for that. I'm gonna stand for another minute here. I'm gonna monitor the YouTube chat. Yeah, I know you're feeling overwhelmed now. So what I'd like you to do, take your notes, review them tomorrow. Feel free to watch this chat. I may split up some of this talk into some shorter videos for you. That's kind of the goal during the week as we teach these on Mondays, split up into shorter videos for everybody on the during the week to put in the channel. We got to get those. I think we got to get 4,000 watch hours, 1,000 subscribers. So if you can share our stuff with as many people as possible, really appreciate it. Like again, I want to democratize these skills. I don't want these skills to only belong to people that can pay like for a $5,000 class, or have to go to Ivy League University and pay like $5,000 to $10,000 for a class to learn this stuff. I want you all to be able to learn this for free. And then if you run into any pitfalls, I'm available to work with you. So yeah, threw a lot at you. Really grateful for you coming out tonight. I think you're going to go ahead and end the live stream, and we'll see you next week for our mindset talk. Yeah, like I said, feel free to like and subscribe to our channel. Share it with as many people as you can, and then if you do want to support us, feel free. When I make the private community, we'll have a little cheap plan if you want to get notes and cheat sheets to have in your phone. They're pretty handy when going places. Oh, thanks so much for the gratitude, Michelle. Really appreciate that. I'm hope I answered a lot of your questions. This is everything I wanted to know like 15 years ago. Um, but I'm go ahead and end the stream and just